Hi there, welcome back to my channel, Double D Guitar. Today I want to talk a little bit more about those caged arpeggios. Hopefully you have been working on the 5 caged shapes and the arpeggios that I kind of put up, I guess a week or so ago. If not, I'm going to put a link. I think it shows up here, or maybe it's here, I don't know. I'll put a link through that little YouTube thing where the thing comes in and does that. And you can click on that and check out the first in the series that I'm working on right now. This one is going to be about taking those same shapes. We're going to be practicing to a metronome, and we're going to add the 7th degree. So let's recap what I'm talking about. I'm talking about 5 shapes. C, the C shape, the A shape, the G shape, the E shape, and the D shape. Caged, C-A-G-E-D. It's a great way to remember the sequence or whatever. When we're running this pattern that I'm doing, a quick recap, is that we're doing the cycle of fourths. So I'm moving from the E shape. We're going to go from the G chord, but the E shape. And then we're going to go to the C chord, A shape. And then we're going to make the F chord with the D shape, and that root is right here on the D string, so it looks like this. And then we're going to make the G shape, but it's going to be a B flat. And then we're going to make the C shape, and it's going to be an E flat. And then we're going to start the cycle all over again, 1 fret up with the G sharp shape, and run through the same thing. I'm sorry, with the G sharp chord, and it's going to be the same cycle of those shapes. The E shape again, the A, the D, the G, and then the C shapes. So what I'm going to describe here is kind of a picking exercise, kind of a timing exercise, a shape learning exercise, and it is pretty handy to get these shapes under your fingers to create the muscle memory that it takes to think to yourself, I'm playing this shape, therefore I have these notes available if I'm major. And we're talking about the majors for right now. What we'll move on to in the next couple of episodes will be some minor shapes all involved within these same shapes. So you don't have to keep learning a whole bunch of new shapes. You can just kind of keep adding on to those caged shapes. And in specifically, we're going to talk about them in terms of arpeggios. So we're not going to sit here and strum some chords. We're going to work on things that could help us develop lead lines or help us develop melody lines based around the chord progression that we're working on. We're going to count these a little bit differently than we did the last exercise. We counted the last exercise as triplets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is going to be quarter notes. 1 and 2 and I'm taking it at about the same tempo that we had last time. I'm in the 60s, 60 beats per minute or so. I think I'm at 66 right now, 66 beats per minute. So maybe notched up just a little bit, but we're going to be playing 1 less note per beat. So as you can see, what I did was just those 5 shapes in that order, and I added to what we were doing before, the next third from the 5th. So basically what I'm doing is I'm going up a major third from my first note. So G to B is a major third, and then you go a minor third. The major third to the perfect fifth is the interval of a minor third. So that together, and then you go another major third to the F sharp, which would be, see how that's a major third. So if we did all this on one string for just the G, a major third, and then we would build an interval of a minor third, and then another major third, and that gets us right almost to our root, a half step away from our root. That's the first extension of a triad, is the seventh. So if you're building triads or you're writing chords and you're looking for something to add to just your regular old chord or to add to your arpeggio, one of the first additions is going to be your seventh. Right now, we're just adding major sevenths to major shapes. So we're taking an interval of a major third, adding a minor third, and then going up another major third. And that gives us root, third, fifth, seventh. And then we have root, third, fifth, seventh. Again, and then root, all within that shape. So now, in the last exercise, we added this note to our E shape. We're going to also add this note. So we're adding on the D string the fourth fret. So I'm going to run through these real quick, and I don't want to just sit here and play this over and over again, but I am going to walk through each one of these shapes and what we're adding to our original triad arpeggio shapes. So in G, we're going on the sixth string. We're going to hit each string. So I'm just going to kind of say third fret and then 2-5 for the A, and then you're going to go 4-5 for the D. So, and that gets us back to our G, our root right there, and then we're going to go and make the rest of our shape at the fourth fret on the G string and the third fret on the B string, and then second fret on your E string. And you can hear that resolves, that just kind of naturally your ear lends itself to hearing that do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. We're just playing the do, skipping the re, playing the mi, skipping the fa, do, re, mi, fa, playing the so, skipping la, having some tea. So, and then we're going to end that particular sequence on that second fret of the A string and then hammer on to our C again, just like we did before. We're moving, after we move from one shape, we're going to move to the next one. And it works out just right with the click. If you do it this way, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. So you see, that puts you right back on the 1 to start your sequence for the A. So now let's add to our A shape. We're starting on the A string here, and this is a C chord, and we're going to add this seventh. We're going to take our first root that we come to here, and we're going to add a half step below it. So root, third, 5, root, major third, perfect fifth, major seventh, and then we're going to add that seventh again right here. See, that B is there. We're not going to bother hitting this. That'll mess our sequence up. So our sequence is going to run from the A string, 3, 2, 5, 4, 5. Once again, same number sequences on the G, just a different set of strings. That's handy just to recognize. So when you see that, you know you've spelled a major seventh triad. And that gets us to our root on the fifth fret. And we're going to kind of roll our pinky up to the 5th fret on the B string, and then grab with our index finger the 3rd fret. So this is that. We are going to end at a 3rd, but we're going to add this root again. So in this particular one, we don't actually go back down to the E string. Just for the sake of it, we're going to keep it all between these 5 strings. So this goes, let me run through that. 3, 2, 5, 4, 5, roll to the 5, grab that 3, hammer on or grab up to the 7th, pull back down to the 3rd fret, and then you get this little roll on the 5th. Between the B and the G, you roll your pinky. And you see, as I lift the pad of my pinky, this fleshy part, as I lift this bottom part and I roll this part up to the B string. So it's like, you know, like this kind of a thing, you know, so that you get, oh, we don't want to blur them, because you get, if you're really trying to play these arpeggios as single notes, you want to get that technique down. That's more of that muscle memory that we want to happen. So 3, 2, 5, 4, 5, 5, 3, 7, 3, 5, 5, 4, 5, 2. Grab the 3 again, and then 2. And I like this pattern because it keeps taking this 3rd of our 1st chord and then becoming the 7th of our next chord on this next down. So that leads us to the next shape, the D shape, which we know we have a D here, D shape here, makes this an F chord. What happens is we make a major 3rd again. We go here from the 3rd to the 7th on the D string. And then I like to move my index finger up to the 5th string. And we're going to do that same kind of a roll across the 5th. But this time we're going to add our root. So here we are, root, 3rd, 5th, 7th, root again. So, and then we just spell the triad, root, 3rd, 5th, and start working our way back down. 3rd, root, 7th, 5th, 3rd, root. Now we're going to do this same move over to the A string, 7th fret, 3rd fret. So now we're going from the root here on the D string at the 3rd fret down to the 7th. You hear it would be here if we were doing that note on this string, but we're not. We're trying to stay in position as best we can. And so that move is going to be, so let's run through that whole arpeggio again. 3, 7, 5, 5, 6, 5, 8, 5, 6, 5, roll to the 5, 7, 3, 7, 3. Okay, so now we've gone from the D, our root, to the E, the 7th, and now we've hit this 5th, so the whole thing. So we're going to end that sequence right here on the 5th fret. And we know that's a safe note because we already hit it here on the E string. Our E strings are repeating. So, and then a half step away is our next shape. This is going to be our G shape, and we're playing a B flat here. So we're going to do that major shape here on the D string again, just like we did for our D shape. This G shape has that same thing. We go from the root to the 3rd to the 5th. So you see, instead of going here this time like our other shapes, we're going this way. And that's handy because, you know, if you're here playing an E major, there's an E major. Here's G major. Here's that shape we're doing right here. So we'll do 6th fret, 5th fret, 3rd fret, hammer or pick on up to the 7th, and then 3rd fret on the G string, 3rd fret on the B string, so you get that roll, and then you hammer from the 3rd fret on the B string up to the 6th, and then you grab the 5th fret, which is our 7th, and then you grab the 6th fret, which is our root, which is where we started, see? So we're filling in from this root to this root to this root, a full 2 octaves there. And guess what? We're ending 1/2 step away again from our C shape, from our next shape, which is the C shape. So let's run through the G one more time. 6, 5, 3, 7, same string. 3, 3, roll. 6, 5, 6, back down to 5, down to 6, 3, roll. Grab this little hammer or pull off at this point. 7, 3, and you grab the 5th fret for your 3rd, but it's now becoming the 7th of this E flat, which is and then we would just start all over again. So let's run through that C shape so that we can hit all 5 of these shapes and get these patterns down. 6, 5, 3, 3, 4, 3, 6, back down to 3. Hit our root on the B string at 4, and then pull off to that 7th there. That's on the 3rd fret of the B string. So root, 3rd, 5th, 3rd, root, 7th. And then we grab our 5th here, our 3rd is here, here's our root again, and that's going to be going back down. Let's just run the whole thing back down. 6, 3, 4, 3, 3 on the G string, 5 on the D string, 6 on the A string, 5 on the A string. This is where we have a quick little move that goes to the E string 6, pull off to the E string 3, and then hammer on to our new root in the cycle of fourths. So our C shape against the metronome, 2, 3, 4. So let's do that again. 6, 5, 3, 3, 4, 3, 6, 3, 4, 3. Roll to the 3, 5, 6, 5, 6, 3. New root. And that's going to be at the 4th. And then you see. So again, this is the kind of thing that you can practice with the metronome. You can practice in front of the TV to get the shapes down. Anything to start getting these sequences down here, and then work on it here in your right hand, and then get the two of them together and decide what feels best, whether it's a hammer on and then a move on to the next string every time you have to add something to a string, or if you want to do alternate picking, or if you want to kind of work on sweeping. Which would be a lot of hammer-ons and just moving in the same direction and then moving in the same direction back down. You know, and that's all right hand stuff then at that point. And once you really start thinking about your right hand, your left hand should already be making those shapes. So don't think too much about the right hand until you get the left hand down. especially if you've never really dabbled in these shapes before, especially if you've never really worked with arpeggios and trying to roll from one string to another. Don't even get on yourself about picking or anything like that until your left hand knows those shapes. And then do what feels comfortable. Do all of them. And then do the same thing I was saying before with these exercises. Try running them up one method and down another method. One thing that this lends itself to really well is that shuffle feel. Where and you can see as you get that faster, you're going to start getting, you know, when you're improvising, these shapes will kind of come to you. Embrace that. Embrace those moments. And like I've said in my other videos, let yourself find the wrong notes. Let yourself just explore from those shapes that you've been working on as you're improvising. As you find yourself playing these things, work around them. What happens if you add the fourth here just for a second? We know the fourth and the sixth are going to now be non-chord tones, as well as the second. Those are notes that are not, those are the three notes that are out of the scale that we're not playing. So you know you can start to add the specific ones from that chord. From that scale around that chord. And adding seconds can be so sweet sometimes. Take your pentatonic shapes and your three-note string shapes, all that phone number stuff we've been talking about, the phone number thing. Hey, maybe I'll figure out how to put that here or here, whatever. When you're using those shapes, you're going to want to, all of a sudden, you're going to start seeing these pop into those shapes. And those are big light bulb moments, because then all of a sudden your fingers start to just do those things instead of you telling your fingers to do those things. Anyway, I really hope that you've gotten something out of this. I've gotten a lot of messages. I really appreciate it. A lot of people texting me, reaching out on Facebook, saying how much they liked that caged arpeggio lesson. So I'm going to follow this one up with another one. So please subscribe to the channel, like the video, feel free to share it. Tell all of your friends about it. Tell your mom how great it is to have lessons from me, or tell somebody. And anyway, share the heck out of it if you like it, really, please. And please keep sending me messages. Please keep asking me questions. I've gotten several questions based on this stuff. I'd like to get deeper and deeper, and so maybe after I do all of this, we'll do another live stream. It's a lot of fun doing those live streams, but I have not been able to get any kind of real schedule down, so it's hard to kind of get everybody into it all the time. So maybe once the fall of the winter comes, I'll be able to do some more live streams. Either way, like, subscribe, and thank you. Stay tuned. I have more of this coming. I hope this was good for you. Take care.